Hi everyone, we are outside Anvil. Quest that we're going to look for is called Tiny Sea Drake. Namona Oryx, an amateur naturalist in the Karak Mages Guild, asked me to help her find a rare sea drake egg. Supposedly, sea drakes were once known to live in the Abyssian Sea, but none have been seen in many years. Namona asked me to visit Port Teledrac and speak to Sirlane Morathine, an expert Navy naturalist currently in Anvil.
Can you ask your question quickly?
Is there something I can help you with? Please say yes. This city is a terrible bore for anyone who doesn't love to gamble. Sea drake. I saw one once as a young man in the etheric ocean out past Hern. They're shy creatures, and little is known about them in the wild, besides that they grow extremely slowly. Before they disappeared from the Abyssian Sea, it was common for mages to hatch sea drakes for observation and study. I suspect they were wiped out by some kind of disease. Sea drake egg. You're looking to find a sea drake egg? That's a difficult proposition. More were ground up for potions or hoarded by collectors in the years since the sea drakes disappeared. I've read the sea drakes often used to lay their eggs in hidden places, protected by coral reefs, deep grottos, and so on. There's a reef west of Anvil called White Reef. If you're set on scouring the sea for a live egg, that's where I would start. Here, I'll mark the reef on your map. I'm a ship's doctor first. It's thanks to the patience of my good friend Yakis that I find the time and resources to write on natural subjects, subject to the requirements of the service and all that. Alright, I'm going to see if there's anything in here other than alcohol. Colovian battle wine, Colovian battle wine. Let's see if I can start a quest. Name improbable cause. Maybe steal someone's Colovian bottle wine while I'm at it.
Serve the Emperor and the Emperor's law. Speak freely, friend.
Looks good in here. But you know how much I hate the hallways. Oh wow, this is so confusing.
Looking for new arms or armor? My workmanship is the best in town.
Oh, there's a key hanging there. Okay.
Let's hear it.
Done my need.
What are you looking at? Never seen a sea elf before? Oh, excellent. Now on top of being unjustly imprisoned, you want me to talk about my race as if I was a caged animal? It's truly a wonder there aren't more Maumert around here, isn't there? I don't belong here. They won't listen to a thing I say. Apparently, the Navy thinks I was involved in an attack on a couple of their ships, but I can promise you, if I had contact with any of my people, I'd be on the first boat out of Anvil. Belief isn't doing anything for me right now. You want to help? Get me out. Convince the guards somehow. Someone around here has to have the power to free me. It's a little bit annoying to have a mod that really uses all of the, traditional options, like tell me about your race to tell me to not ask me to tell me about their race. Just, leave it out. It's I don't know, disrespectful to the original game. If you're gonna give me the option to ask for information, give it to me.
Speak freely, friends.
It's really not necessary to be that rude. All the time. Okay, I'm gonna do my running in circles thing. Let's see. Do you sell this stuff? Colovian battle wine. Can you sell me Colovian battle wine? No. Oh, what happens if I steal alcohol from the military? Probably bad things. Alright, this time I'm actually going to use my spell to hide myself a bit better. Okay. Is that the end of that? Or do I need 15 bottles of it? See, that's just silly. All these arrows leading nowhere.
Speak up.
Ah! I'm exactly back at the same place. Okay. It says I'm going somewhere. Alright. Downstairs. Yeah, that's... Is there a different downstairs? Ugh. Okay, at least I got to a new place.
What's your story? Anytime now.
Wow.
Speak freely, friend.
I did not summon you. Why have you come to the Navarre's tower? Hey, let's talk about the latest rumors. I don't have time for gossip, and I would appreciate it if you didn't spread rumors at my fort. I have enough trouble maintaining discipline as it is. Unjustly imprisoned. This is no concern of yours. The sea elf is being held in connection to a serious crime. If he is indeed innocent, he will discover that over the course of his questioning. Questioning is getting you nowhere. Gods, you're right. I'll give the order to release him, but know that you're involved now, too. If we need to bring him in again, you'll be sharing a cell. Well, yay.
Serve the Emperor and the Emperor's law.
Any time now.
Let me guess, you're here to lambaste me for my cowardice and curse my name before all the gods. Well, get on with it. A ship, TEM Red Tempest, was patrolling north of Stirk Isle last year when the masked captain attacked us at Evenfall. The battle was over in minutes. High Command was not pleased that I escaped the calamity with only this scar and a timely recall spell, and they refused to grant me a new command. If the admirals had seen Crypts and its crew fight, they would know the Red Tempest never stood a chance, whether I went down with the ship or not. I just wish I could have saved Viridia Decatur. Commander Viridia Decatur was the first officer aboard TEM Red Tempest. We served together for 10 years. Viridia was a peerless sailor and a steadfast leader. I was proud to call her my friend. When I saw her die, I lost all sense. The cabin was already flooded up to my ankles, and the reavers were heading my way. That's when I used a recall spell to escape. I hate the thought of my friend's bones being gnawed by fish. You've heard the story. Please, will you recover Viridia Decatur's remains? Yes. Okay. Oh, serendipitously, it looks as though we have already been to White Reef. raw gold. Nice. I really hate the sounds in these oceans. It always sounds like something is trying to kill you. Hi. Hey. We cool? Look, you're the googly eye fish. Love the googly eye fish. How much downer can I go? Alright. 3D dungeons, not my strong point. 3D dungeons with no maps, even worse. I don't remember. I'm hoping. Okay, this is going down. That's good. This place is huge. I don't know why Lamia are underwater. Whoa, that's disturbing. Okay, that's a lot of resist magic. Yeah, well, okay. For some reason, I'm beginning to, inherently paralyze things. So it's gotta be the ammo that I'm using. I don't know why Lamia are underwater. I think the water spirits are naiads. Or sirens or something like that. Lamia are snake people, but I don't think they... Well, Lamia have a lot of different things. That... Talon's Heritage Wine. Taking all the alcohol I can, because who knows? Yeah. seen Lamia in a lot of different games, but as far as I know, well, there's just stuff everywhere. Okay, back to the Karak Guild. Forgive me, on the maps, some places on ESO, if you right click, you can fast travel. Here, ESO, if you left click, you can travel. Here, you have to right click. I always get it wrong. Play one game long enough to get it right,
Strange.
then go play the other game and get it wrong until I change my habit.
With pleasure. Please.
Did you learn
go
anything
ahead.
helpful from
I'm
Stella and
all
Morathine
ears.
about sea drake eggs? You found a sea drake egg. That's wonderful. Maybe we'll restore sea drakes to the Abyssinian Sea after all. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, we have to hatch that egg. Put the sea drake egg you found in the bowl of seawater, and I'll keep an eye on it for the next few days. I might even try a few spells to help the thing along.
Greetings to you. A pleasure to meet you.
Okay. Okay, still have to get a bunch of pearls, huh? Alright, let's see what kind of pearls I got. I did not collect much. I have a black and a regular pearl. Okay.
That was the strangest book I've ever read.
Blue pearl, Sturk Islands. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to go outside of Carrick. I'm right there right now. And head south. First, maybe I can steal some right in town here. Horse buy. Could you sell
What's
pearls?
your story?
Welcome to the Somatana Company's Karak branch. We have fine goods from Hammerfell and daily necessities. If you're here on behalf of a company interested in licensing Flash Grit, you may leave its credentials with me. I'll make sure the right people see them. Flash Grit is the Somatana Company's signature product. It's shelf-stable soap. It violently explodes when friction is applied. Yeah, that's explosive, not soap, which is very useful to industrial environments. This Sumitana company is the only company chartered to make or sell it. We don't sell it to individuals, however. Yeah, that's fine. That's funny. You know I love soap. Okay. Pearl. Ooh, okay. Cardash pearl, blue pearl. Why not? Let's get a red pearl while we're at it. You've been very helpful. Thank you. See, if I can buy things quickly, I probably will. Although, you know, sometimes I don't. Alright, here is... pink pearl. Oh, there's a pink pearl up north, rather than in the middle of the ocean. But it's probably in someone's house, so I'm gonna go steal it from something that isn't going to arrest me if I try to kill it. And pick up. It looks like there's a keep out here. Pick up that spot on the map. Chickens! Hi guys! I don't see many of you guys around here. It's all been Guar and Scrib. What are you? You're cool looking. I can't. What are you? Oh, you're a donkey. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, can you imagine if you had to find this without a marker? Holy crap. That's crazy. You guys are crazy. Okay. 5 types. Blue, pink, black, Kardesh. I should have them all now. Okay. Blue, pink, black, Kardesh, and regular. Okay. Why am I in combat? Come on now. Aha. What are you, by the way? Horseshoe crab? Do you have blue blood? Wow, stuff out here does not care about arrows. Hard hat prawn. Okay. That's a new thing.
Tacos free, what do you want?
Local pearls. On the hunt for some pearls? We've come to the right woman. First thing to bear in mind is that pearl collops and clams can be found in just about any deep body of water. Its quantity you're after, you might want to try your luck scavenging the wreck of Moezi, located northeast of the Brissel. Heard it supposedly went down with a cargo of pearls.
With pleasure. Please, go ahead. I'm all ears. Well met. I've saved my best potions just for you.
Local pearls. Have you managed to find those pearls yet? Yes. These will do perfectly. I'll take them off your hands now. I hope that finding them wasn't too much of a bother. Take these as compensation for your trouble. Okay.
You seem like very good company.
I need you to deliver a welcome basket for a visiting guildmate. Cal Manway, a sorcerer from the Somerset Isles, is visiting Carrack. We're to conduct research together for the mutual benefit of the guild. I'd like to extend the finest Carracki hospitality for her, and with that in mind, I'd like you to deliver this welcome basket. I'm quite proud of it. It contains an assortment of scrolls, soul gems, and delicious peppers from Rihad,
After
and
the kicking I gave that weasel, he better mind his manners.
It contains an assortment of scrolls, soul gems, some delicious peppers from Rihad, and a bottle of solchichi. Only the best. You'll likely find her at the Sunset Hotel. I'm noticing I haven't done anything for the main quest for a while. Yeah. All right. I am going to go talk to Caius. So I think the last thing we did was speak to, what's his name, Hainab Zansubani or something. Or is that the guy that stole someone else's pants? I don't remember. But I'm gonna go speak to Caius and make sure I've refreshed the latest on that quest. Yeah, I think I remember Haneb Zen Subani's name because he's the one that always steals pants. Different guy. Still starting with a Z. I think I'm supposed to go speak to someone in the tribes. I did that, didn't I? Or was that just for the Mages Guild where I... Oh, we can straighten this out. He'll remind me.
Are you here to discuss your orders? Or thanks for your report. But
Oh, it
keep
is Zansubani.
Zainzubani's notes on the Ashlanders. You'll need them. I'm promoting you and sending you to the Urshilaku camp to speak with Sulmatul and Nibani Maisa. But before you go, I think it may be time to tell you what's going on. The Emperor and his advisors think you have the appearance of meeting the conditions of the Nerevarine prophecies. That's why you were pulled out of prison on His Majesty's authority and sent to me. So you could satisfy the conditions of the Nerevarine prophecies and become the Nerevarine. Here, this is a decoded copy of the coded package you gave me when you arrived. Read it later. It should explain everything. As you'll see in the decoded message, the Emperor and his counselors say you have the appearance of satisfying the conditions of the prophecy. Do you really satisfy the prophecy? Are you really the prophesied Nerevarine? At first I thought we were just supposed to create a persuasive impostor. Now, I don't know what to think, but I'm sure of one thing. This is not just primitive superstition, and we will treat it seriously, just as His Majesty commands. So, Zainzubani says Sulmatul and Nibani Maisa at Urshilaku camp are the heads of the Nerevarine cult. So I'm sending you to speak with them. Tell them your story, and have them test you against the Nerevarine prophecies. As heads of the Nerevarine cult, they can best judge whether you satisfy the prophecies. When you've spoken with them, report back to me. Here's 200 drakes for expenses, and pick up essential supplies at Fort Moonmoth. Before you go to Urshilaku camp, see Samutis Vunis and Crulius Pontanian at Fort Moonmoth. I've asked them to put aside some potions and scrolls for you, courtesy of the Emperor. In particular, you'll want the cure potions. I hear the blight is very bad up north, and use the Divine Intervention scroll if you find you're in over your head. It will get you safe to an Imperial cult shrine where you can heal, refit, and try again. Those were the good old days, eh? Believe it or not, I was an apprentice once too. But that was a long time ago. The Emperor and his counselors say you have the appearance of satisfying the conditions of the Nerevarine prophecy. I'm still skeptical, but it's hard to believe this is all just coincidence. Zainzubani says the Urshilaku camp lies close to the Sea of Ghosts, north of the village of Margan, on the northern coast of Vardenfell. The fastest, smartest way to reach Margan is to take a silt strider from Balmora to Aldrun, and from Aldrun to Margan. In Margan, look for a scout named Nuleno Tedas at Margan Outpost. She'll be able to tell you how to reach Urshilaku camp.
So, there... To take a moment to discuss lore, the way that the Empire is attempting to exploit this prophecy can explain quite a bit about motivations. So we know that Dagoth has sent dreams to thousands, and from what we have read, those who are strong can survive the disease, or whatever their definition of strong is in this case. Let's just use a Darwinian term of fit. Whoever is more fit to corporous disease will become ultimately an ash ghoul, whereas otherwise they'll just turn into gibbering maniacs and die. So I don't know whether or not that is a strength to be able to become an ash ghoul, which is why I'll use the word fit. They are fit to survive this disease. So you know that Dagoth does not know of a particular Nerevarine. Everybody's been given the dreams. And some people, so it's a recruiting call, essentially. And then you go through boot camp and you either become an officer or you wash out. the Empire is using this to influence politics by winnowing out the individuals who might qualify and then, I would say coerce. She was coerced to do this. She's trumped up on false charges, selected to come out here, and then thrown at this thing. So who knows how many people are, reporting to Caius or other agents. Azura seems to be a bit more targeted, but I believe there is some lore later on we haven't been exposed to that might alter that perception, so I'm not going to spoil that. I'm trying to recall in this game what we have actually been exposed to. So what this reminds me of is an email scam. Say you have, a million email addresses. You send to these millions of email addresses one prediction. I predict, let's just make it a simple thing. It's going to rain or it's going to be clear on this one day. So what you do is you send that first list out and you split your numbers. So 500,000 will say rain, 500,000 will say clear. So the next email you send out will only be sent to the people who the original prediction was sent to, the one that was right. So now you have 500,000 people that saw you make one correct prediction. You split that email again to 250,000, and then you pick rain or clear again, whatever your choices are, and then you continue with this until you have a string of clearly correct predictions, but they are only based on the numbers. So this is what this scam reminds me of. By the end, you have someone at the end of that going, well, they were right 6 times in a row. No, they weren't. They just had a lot of numbers on their side. And it looks as though it's targeted to you specifically, but in fact, no. So that's what is happening here, in my opinion. Every actor is playing huge numbers while making it seem as though it's an individual game. Okay, so since we seem to have skipped that mainline quest, I'm going to just go do this Sul Matul. Okay, I'm going to be respectful. Speak to someone. Okay.
What do you want, Outlander?
So, as they said, the way here, gifts can simply be money,
Greetings,
which you
Outlander.
could use in the bribe menu. I'm mostly using persuade.
Outlander? What talk, Outlander? Speak with respect, and I will listen. It is our custom. Among strangers, we honor this custom with gold. You have no standing among us, Outlander, but you speak well, and with respect. So I will explain. It is against our customs that an Outlander should speak to an Ashkan or wise woman. I'll tell you also that Sul Matul has no love for Outlanders. The Nerevarine prophecies are not for Outlanders. Why should Sul Matul and Nibani Maisa speak to you about these things? Who are you that we should trust you?
So my options are offer to fight a duel to the death for the right to speak with Sul Matul, boast of my worthy deeds, and demand the right to speak with Sul Matul. Tell all I've learned of the Sixth House and the Nerevarine, and ask humbly to speak with Sul-Matul. Offer to pay a tribute of 200 gold to speak with Sul-Matul. So, yeah, so as
I'm so hungry. I could eat
as
a
the game
rat.
progresses, you get more options. So likely the boast of my worthy deeds would not be available or would fail if it were earlier in the game. Right now, they're probably going to listen to me. I've got higher reputation and high personality. So I'm going to choose tell all I've learned of the Sixth House and the Nerevarine and ask humbly to speak to Sul-Matul. Now, she's not particularly a humble person, but she does understand the Ashlander need for status and respect, and she's going to do that.
These are not simple matters. You know a great deal more than I would have thought, and some of what you say is news to me. I believe you should speak to Sul-Matul. Perhaps he will be angry with me, but I think I can bear that. Go to the Ashkan's yurt and speak with Sul-Matul. Ask him your questions and tell him I have sent you. Outlander, what do you want? So, my champion Zabamund has sent you to talk with me about the Nerevarine prophecies. Then go ahead, talk. I am very curious. You think you fulfill the Nerevarine prophecies. You wish to be tested to see if you are the Nerevarine. No Outlander may join the Nerevarine cult. If you were a clan friend, an adopted member of the Ashlander tribes, then perhaps. I have an initiation rite in mind. If you pass this rite, I will adopt you as a clan friend of the Ashlanders, and then I will submit you to Nibani Maisa, our wise woman, who is skilled in oracles and mysteries, and who will test you against the prophecies. To be adopted into the tribe, you must undergo a harrowing. In a harrowing, you will be judged by the spirits and ancestors to see if you are worthy. Go to the Urshilaku burial caverns and fetch me Sul-Senepul's bone-biter bow. Sul-Senepul was my father, and his spirit guards his bone-mold long bow deep in the burial caverns. Return to me with this bow, and I will adopt you into the Ashlander tribes as a clan friend.
Okay, Disturbing Dreams is in blue, but they have warned you not to tell anybody that. It's not a big deal. It's just that they'll always say, don't tell me that, or go speak to, he'll say something like, am I an old woman that you ask me such a thing?
Do you have
Which is rude. But she would know not to ask a man about dreams. Okay, Bonebiter Bow is to the south. Head that way. She understands the gender roles, even though in the Mabragash tribe they were skewed a bit more to women because Mabragash are matriarchal. But it's the same thing, you just reverse the roles. Women would require, obsequious attention to status and custom in the same way that men would if it was reversed. I don't believe women are superior. It's just going to depend on who is in the power structure and who is going to take advantage of it. Almost anybody steeped in a high power structure is going to get addicted to it and behave like an idiot. They've done some studies where wealth and power behave like mental disorders, especially in a time where you can get so much of it. It's like cocaine all day, every day. It's really not good for you. Okay, this is a long dungeon. There is some good stuff here, but I'm just going to be going straight to the quest objective. There's lots of stuff in here. In fact, In fact, there is, I believe, a wizard staff in here somewhere, but I'm not going to be picking up every tiny thing, and there are, I think, 7 or 8 different tombs. So it's a maze. My quest markers are going to take me directly to where I want to go, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't, I have, there's, lots of these places that I have done completely thoroughly. If there were anything really exciting. I would head that way, but essentially it's just loot. It suits your character and it suits my playstyle not to really be going after things, but story. I've played plenty of games where I suffer and scrabble and grab everything, and there is a satisfaction in that. But this is a lore run, so the lore of this run is that there are a bunch of different places to go. They're all essentially the same. There's some different loot, wizard staff, a lot of glass weapons, and enchanted glass weapons, but so as you see, it's a vertical dungeon, and I can go into each of these places, but I'm just going to be going into this burial location, which is up here. So you can go into each of the places. All of these there are just dead bodies with stuff all over the place. You can loot everything. I'm not going to be. So yeah, there are a couple of places where you can get a mage's staff in the game. This is one of them. At the point at which I was buying one for 5K just is, a great idea. Okay, the Bonebiter bow, which I would consider a relic. Bonebiter bow of Sul Senipol, damageability, and blind. That's pretty good. It's just, not as good as a Daedric bow. So that's something that I will be putting in a display. So yes, the first time you do this quest, it's probably going to take an hour or so. I'm just not really finding anything compelling about doing the maze.
I'm very happy to make your acquaintance. So, Outlander, have you completed the initiation rite? This is my father's bone-biter bow. You have completed the initiation rite. I name you clan friend of the Ashlanders. Keep my father's bow and bear it with honor. You are a friend of our tribe and may rest in any Urshilaku bed. But do not harm other tribe members or take their things. And now I will fulfill my other promise. Go to the wise woman's yurt, and Nibani Maisa shall examine you and test you against the Nerevarin prophecies.
Three blessings, Sarah.
I clearly cannot sleep in any Urshilaku bed, but okay.
A warm welcome to you.
Go ahead. Do you have questions about the Nerevarin prophecies? Have you come to see if you passed the test? Do you think you are the Nerevarin? The Ahemusa of the Grayslands are mild and peace-loving. The wise woman of the Ahemusa, Sinamu Mirpa, is also their Ashkan. These dreams are evil sendings from the Sharmat Dagoth Ur. He promises you shall live forever, that you shall gain the power of life and death. But he is the father of lies, and thinks to trick you with his gifts. Do not listen. Do not go to him. There are many Nerevarin prophecies, and they suggest many things. Aspect and uncertain parents. The moon and star, sleepers, 7 curses, the curse's bane, the prophecy of the stranger, the prophecy of the 7 visions, the lost prophecies. Ask me of these things, if you are patient, if you would be wise, or if you are impatient to know, just ask, do I pass the test of the Nerevarin prophecies? Go ahead, Outlander. I am the wise woman. Ask your questions, and I will answer. If what you say is true, you are indeed born on a certain day of uncertain parents. This is part of the prophecy. But many have the same birthday, and many are not sure of their parents. It is interesting, but it does not make you the Nerevarin.
These are outlanders, foreigners, westerners. They don't belong here. They should go back where they came from. Dagoth Ur.
Dagoth Ur is the devil and the enemy. Dagoth Ur and his beasts and servants are the source of many evils that beset the Dunmer and Morrowind. Dagoth Ur dwells in fiery caverns beneath Red Mountain, served by his kin, called Ash Vampires, and by legions of deformed monsters. The Ghost Fence is a magic wall around Red Mountain. The settled people created this barrier to keep the devil Dagoth Ur and his beasts and servants trapped in Red Mountain. Ghost Gate is a great warrior's fort of the settled people. It blocks the only hole in the magic wall that keeps Dagoth Ur and his evil trapped inside. These warriors serve false gods, but they are brave fighters.
Urbanipal is a Daedric ruin to the east of the camp. It's a cursed place full of evil spirits. Don't ever use it as a landmark when you travel around the Ashlands. It's a very bad omen.
We know of the Nerevarine prophecies. We have also heard that an outlander comes to fulfill these prophecies. Perhaps you are that outlander, perhaps not. Carry good, nourishing food. When you stumble wearily into trouble, eat and refresh yourself, so you will fight well. There are Nerevarine prophecies that have been lost, the 7 curses, and others. Some are forgotten, some hidden, some deliberately lost. The wise women are the memory of the Velothi people, but it is a faulty memory, and we are mortal, and our knowledge dies with us. But we hear that the dissident priests of the temple study our Nerevarine prophecies and record them in books. Such written words never die. You must go to them and ask for these books, and bring what you find to me. Morrowind is the ancient homeland of the Dunmer people. Once, long ago, this was our land, but now the creatures from the west have come, and the House Dunmer have meekly submitted to their rule. Now, in all the lands of the Morrowind, only the Ashlanders still lead the free, reverent lives of honor of the ancient Dunmer. The Imperial legions are mighty warriors. No one can defeat them when they march in rows in open fields. But here, in our ashlands and wild places, they are no match for us. In ancient days, the Deep Elves and a great host of outlanders from the west came stealing the land of the Dunmer. In that time, Nerevar was the great Khan and war leader of the House people, but he honored the ancient spirits and the tribal law, and became as one of us. So, when Nerevar pledged upon his great ring of the ancestors, one clan under moon and star, to honor the ways of the spirits and rights of the land, all the tribes joined the House people fighting a great battle at Red Mountain. Though many Dunmer, tribesmen, and housemen died at Red Mountain, the Dwemer were defeated, and their evil magics destroyed, and the outlanders driven from the land. But after this great victory, the power-hungry Khans of the great houses slew Nerevar in secret, set themselves up as gods, and forgot Nerevar's promises to the tribes. But Nerevar will come again and cast down the false gods, and by the power of his ring will make good his promises, honor the spirits, and drive the outsiders from the land. Red Mountain is the great mountain of fire in the center of Vardenfell. The outer slopes are steep and rugged, and the crater is deep and filled with burning rock. Beasts and servants of the devil Dagoth-Ur live on Red Mountain. The settled people built a magical barrier called Ghost Fence to keep the evils inside. Within the Ghost Fence, rain never falls and the sun never shines. The only weather is the red and deadly ash blight. Rumors say that in the towns, mad cultists called Sleepers are attacking people, saying that Dagoth-Ur has awakened and will drive the Outlanders from Morrowind. Perhaps it is just a coincidence, but I think it is a sign of the Nerevarine. Not necessarily a sign that you are the Nerevarine. Perhaps the time of the Nerevarine has come, and you have come at the same time. This is not passing a test, but it may mean you have some part to play in the coming of the Nerevarine. It is another Ashlander prophecy of the Nerevarine. It is called the 7 Curses of the Sharmat, but I do not know it, and I know no one who does. It may be lost. Such things happen. A wise woman dies or forgets, or a clan is wiped out. Perhaps someone knows but is keeping it secret. Perhaps it is in one of those many books of your settled peoples. I have heard that the dissident priests of the temple may have such books. Legend says Indoral Nerevar's family standard bore the moon and star, and Nerevar's armor and weapons bore this sign. Some say he bore a moon and star birthmark. Some say he has a magic ring marked with a moon and star. Others say he was born under a moon and star. In any case, I think the moon and star is the mark of the Nerevarine, and you do not have this mark, so you are not the Nerevarine. The full title of the prophecy is 7 Visions of 7 Trials of the Incarnate. Listen, and I will tell you the verses. 7 trials. What he puts his hand to, that shall be done. What is left undone, that shall be done. First trial. On a certain day to uncertain parents incarnate moon and star reborn. Second trial. Neither blight nor age can harm him. The curse of flesh before him flies. Third trial. In caverns dark Azura's eye sees, and makes to shine the moon and star. Fourth trial. A stranger's voice unites the houses. 3 halls call him Hortator. Fifth trial. A stranger's hand unites the Velothi. 4 tribes call him Nerevarine. Sixth trial. He honors blood of the tribe unmourned. He eats their sin and is reborn. 7th trial. His mercy frees the cursed false gods, binds the broken, redeems the mad. 1 destiny. He speaks the law for Veloth's people. He speaks for their land and names them great. What does this prophecy mean? It tells us who the Nerevarine will be, and the trials he must undergo before he fulfills his destiny. Some parts I understand, some parts I do not. I will answer your questions as best I can, but I cannot pretend to understand it all. The Urshilaku are the Ashlanders of the Northern Ashlands and the West Gash. I am the wise woman of the Urshilaku, and Ashkan Sulmatul is our chief, a brave and respected war leader and warrior protector of the Nerevarine cult. This is the best known of the Nerevarine prophecies. We call it the Stranger. When earth is sundered and skies choked black, and sleepers serve the 7 curses, to the hearth there comes a stranger, journeyed far neath moon and star. Though stark-born to sire uncertain, his aspect marks his certain fate. Wicked stalk him, righteous curse him, prophets speak but all deny. Many trials make manifest, the stranger's fate, the curse's bane. Many touchstones try the stranger, many fall but one remains. Veloth's people are the Dunmer, all Dunmer, Ashlander, and Great House. The last time the Velothi were united were with Nerevar at the Battle of Red Mountain. Now Nerevar will come once again and unite the Dunmer. He will restore Morrowind to the Dunmer and restore the former greatness of the Velothi people. This refers to your birth sign, to your birth on a certain day to uncertain parents, just like in the Stranger prophecy. I'm not sure what this means. Will the Nerevarine come as a spirit who is not harmed by blight or age? I don't know. But I think Curse of Flesh means the blight disease corpus, which causes terrible, distorted growths on its victims. Perhaps the Nerevarine can heal this disease. Perhaps that will be a sign of the Nerevarine. In legend, there is a shrine to Azura called the Cavern of the Incarnate. There are secrets I may not tell you about this cavern. Do not ask. A Hortator is a war leader chosen when Dunmer great houses must put aside their normal feuds to unite against a common enemy. This has not happened since the Empire invaded our land. The Ashlanders are sometimes called the Velothi, for the prophet Veloth who guided us to this land many, many centuries ago. And the 4 tribes are the 4 tribes of Vardenfell, the Urshilaku, the Ahemusa, the Zainab, and the Erebenimsun. It would truly be a miracle to unite these 4 tribes who have so long raided and warred with one another. But the Nerevarine must be one who performs miracles. I am not sure. The tribe unmourned may mean the 6th house, House Dagoth, which was exterminated after the Battle of Red Mountain. But it may also mean the Dwemer, or the Dwarves, as Westerners call them. And eating sin is doing atonement for another's sin. The cursed false gods must be the tribunal. They are surely false gods, evil sorcerers and necromancers, and they murdered Nerevar so they might set themselves up as gods. Binds the broken must refer to Nerevar's broken promise to the Ashlanders to honor the ways of the spirits and rights of the land. In Tamriel, persons born under certain constellations are said to be fortunate in their aspects. Such persons are often blessed or cursed with remarkable abilities or weaknesses as a result of the magical conjunctions of celestial influences. The Incarnate cannot fail. What others have tried, he will do. What Nerevar started, the Incarnate shall finish. Swamp fever is a mild common disease affecting the victim's strength and behavior. Symptoms include high body temperature and delirium. It may be contracted from the mud crab. You are not the Nerevarine. You are one who may become the Nerevarine. It is a puzzle, and a hard one, but you have found some of the pieces, and you may find more. Do you choose to be the Nerevarine? Then seek the lost prophecies among the dissident priests of the temple. Find the lost prophecies, bring them to me, and I will be your guide. And take these copies of The Stranger and the 7 Visions. Now, I have told you all I know. Go, think on what I've told you, and do what must be done.
Okay. So it is a little weird. It has disappeared off my list again of things to do. Let me go speak to Caius. Again.
I have knowledge to share with you. Are you here to discuss your orders, or is there something else you want? You've spoken with Sulmatul and Nibani Maisa, and from what they say, it sounds like you could really be the Nerevarine. That's just incredible. But I'll have to get used to the idea. Let me try to get word to Mera Milo. Maybe she can find out whether the dissident priests have any lost prophecies. But in the meantime, I have a very tough assignment for you. Do you think you're ready?
I'm willing, but cautious.
Good. Cautious is smart. I'm going to give you the mission, but I'm going to give you 400 drakes. Before you head out, make sure you outfit yourself with healing potions, new gear, a little training, whatever you think you need most. And if you get in trouble, back off, rest up, and go back fresh. Don't take any chances. I think this will be a tough one. Here's your mission. Fort Buckmoth sent a patrol to Gnar Mok, hunting smugglers with 6th House connections. They found a 6th House base, a 6th House shrine, and a 6th House priest named Dagoth Garrus. Speak to Champion Risa Pulia at Fort Buckmoth. She'll tell you about the patrol and the 6th House base. Your orders: find that 6th House base, kill Dagoth Garrus, and bring me a full report on the 6th House base.
Okay.
Fort Buckmoth is the Imperial Legion's garrison for Redoran District. The fort lies south of Aldrun, a short walk from Aldrun's south gate.
Okay, it's back on the list. So it is easy to drop some threads here. I do need to speak with the dissident priests. Now, they've never said it explicitly, but I believe you're supposed to pick up on it. He did say speak to Mera Milo. So I'm going to independently go check the library, because this is a thread that can be pretty easily dropped. I don't know if it's available now. We are nowhere near the end of this quest. We're probably a fifth of the way through it now. There is so much. So I'm going to check. Should be the Hall of Wisdom, to the library. See if I can speak to Mera Milo. The character would have enough information at this point to realize that whether or not Mera Milo is a dissident priest, she certainly seems to know more about it than anybody else. Now, he said he would get word to Mera Milo. Of course, not much time has passed.
Yes, Outlander.
I don't know if she's still here at all. Sometimes I end up having to just...
Welcome, citizen.
Yeah.
May I be of assistance?
She's not here any longer, so we're gonna have to wait for that to, Oh. No? No.
Praise Vivek.
Okay.
You flatter
Yes,
me with your
citizen.
attention, Outlander.
As I said, get Caius a copy of Progress of Truth, and that should tell him things he needs to know about the Nerevarine cult. Is there anything else you want to
I want
ask
to
me
ask her about the lost prophecies.
We can't talk now, but in the Apocrypha, the hidden teachings of the temple, there are several extensive references to lost prophecies. Prophecies no longer current among the Ashlanders, but recorded by earlier temple pilgrims and scholars. Caius thinks you'll find what you're looking for in the Apocrypha, and I'm trying to get you access to the Apocrypha through the dissident priests. The dissident priests dispute temple doctrine and are outlawed and persecuted by the temple. Ordinators arrest and imprison heretics, and the Empire cannot interfere. Progress of Truth lists their beliefs. In brief, they challenge the purity and divinity of the tribunal, suggesting their powers are sorcerous, not divine, and perhaps akin to the powers of Dagoth-Ur. They also condemn the arbitrary power of the Ordinators and accuse the temple hierarchy of self-interest and corruption. I do not care for temple politics, but I have read Progress of Truth, and it troubles me. I have friends, former priests, who have gone into hiding, so I am bound to come to the attention of the Ordinators. I am careful.
Okay, I am careful, but I'm afraid I'm no secret agent like you or Caius. Sooner or later, I too must go into hiding. If it is not too late, when you return to Caius, tell him I am worried, and that if something goes wrong, I will leave a message under the agreed code word, Amaya. Okay.
Greetings. I am at your service.
So I'm going to go back to Caius and tell him that. And also, some of that content was not voiced. So some of this might be modded, which may be why some of my main quest gets a little weird.
I have knowledge to share with you. Are you here to discuss your orders, or is there something else you want? Mara Milo says the dissident priests do have records of Ashlander Nerevarine prophecies, and she has an idea how we might get a look at them.
Okay, that's about as well as it's gonna go. So yeah, I can't blame this on the game. My game is heavily modded, and I can only get some clues when something is not voiced to know that there's been an alteration. Okay, so we have advanced the main quest. I'll wait for it to cycle down again. But yes, there's particularly one spot. So as she said, 4 houses call the Nerevarine Hortator. And well, yeah, the 3 houses call them Hortator, the 4 tribes call them Nerevarine. So you have to gain, it can be inferred from that you have to gain the approval of all the houses and all the tribes. Each one is going to send you on wild Nerevarine chases, so it's going to take a while to get all of that done. Once I get to certain points of it, I'm probably going to advance some of it without letting it loop all the way over, or we'll be here for the next 400 years. Also, I believe I need to pick up again the Redoran. I need to go speak to Sarethi. Because I think he said to leave him alone for a few days. And I believe it's been a few days.
What an unexpected surprise. Please go ahead, Outlander. I am Athen Sarethi, a counselor of House Redoran. What can I do for you? You have rescued my son, and I am grateful, but there is another favor I would ask of you. Varver Sarethi has been accused of the foul murder of Bralin Carverin. Bralin Carverin was one of Varver Sarethi's friends. I cannot believe that my son would do such a thing, but the evidence is persuasive. I would start by speaking with my son about Bralin Carverin. He is in his room in the guard quarters.
Okay, this place is crazy. There are so many rooms here. Oh my god. All the alcohol. Sorry, yes, I'm stealing your alcohol. And you can't see me do it. And just like most law enforcement, when I actually tell you I'm gonna do it, you ignore me.
It's so good to meet you. You'll bring me good fortune, Outlander. I am sorry, I'm not feeling well. What can I do for you? He is the one who had me secretly arrested. I think he was going to use me against my father. I'd stay away from him if I were you. I didn't kill him. He was my closest friend. The guards found me near his body, but I don't remember anything that happened that night. Sometimes, though, sometimes I have bad dreams. Sometimes I kill Bralin Carverin in my dreams. It's horrible. But that doesn't mean I killed him, does it? I was having bad dreams before Bralin Carverin died. About the time I got that ash statue. It's right over there. Maybe if you take it away, the bad dreams will stop.
Okay, so we get some... So, suspicious ash statue. We get some serious information.
It's so good to meet you.
First real confirmation that the statues are important. In their own right, not just as symbols.
What an unexpected surprise. Please go ahead, Outlander. Have you been able to clear my son of Bralin Carverin's murder? This ash statue troubles me. I would have you speak with someone at the temple about this statue. Perhaps Lioros Serrano would know more of it.
So this is an important piece of lore. I'm going to advance this quest because it seems important.
I am blessed to be at your
and
service.
relevant.
It's so good. Yes, Athens Serethi said to expect someone. What can I do for you? You have the statue. Give it to me, and I will see if I can clear Varver's name for the murder of Bralin Carverin. You found an ash statue in Varver Serethi's room. Give me the ash statue so that I may examine it more carefully. Thank you. Yes, I can see there is some kind of conjuration enchantment on this statue. I believe this statue influenced Varver Serethi in some manner, causing him to kill his friend Bralin Carverin. He may still be under the influence of this statue. Tell Varver to come and speak with me. When I am sure that he is no longer influenced by the statue, I will have him cleared of Bralin Carverin's murder. Have Varver Serethi speak with me soon. If this statue was responsible for his behavior, I will clear him of Bralin Carverin's murder.
So, conjuration.
Welcome.
The spell can remotely conjure, I don't know what, but that's disturbing enough.
Have you been able to clear my son of Bralin Carverin's murder? Thank you. I understand that my son's name will be cleared when he has been purged of the ash statue's influence. I knew my son would never murder his friend, but I understand this statue influenced him in some way.
For clearing this stain on my family's honor and for saving Varva's life, I gift you with this blade from my personal armory. So I've been given an etheric reaver.
Unfortunately, you do not meet our requirements, and you have not performed enough duties. Andres Nerano, a Hlalu noble, claims that Archmagister Bolvin Venom is guilty of certain indiscretions with the wife of another counselor. While I do not approve of all the Archmaster does, as a councilman of House Redoran, I cannot let this accusation stand. I want you to stop Andres Nerano's slanders. The slander is being spread by Andres Nerano. Track him down and demand that he withdraw his slander. If he refuses, challenge him to a duel, but do not shame House Redoran by murdering him.
Alright. By now, I should have been offered a a stronghold option. Let me see. This is really obscure and frustrating. Okay. See if I can speak to her and if she says anything about stronghold.
I don't have any more duties for you. What brings you here?
No, sometimes I try to jump it forward, but right now, I'm just gonna keep going the way that I have been going, which is why I load a stronghold at the beginning of the game, because by the time I need one, it's too late. I've got so much junk in other places. Alright, so I've re-picked up Redoran and the main quest. That's good. Let me see if it's been long enough for me for them to grow the flowers that they needed. I'll check in every now and then. It shouldn't be that much longer. Oh, I drank suspicious water. That's unfortunate.
Well,
Okay,
I
good.
find myself in pleasant
It's
company.
done. We're producing
Please, share your thoughts.
It's done. We're producing paralysis resistance potions. You've done the guild here a great service. We were afraid we'd bitten off more than we could chew when we agreed to supply the town guard with them. Frankly, I felt like Reynosa was expecting me to brew them out of thin air, as we had none of the necessary ingredients in supply. Sorry for how little my directions helped you actually find them. Anyway, now that we've got the alchemy running, I've got a small but important task to give you. You should go see Falasa Irano, the captain of this town's guard, in the guard tower, and sell her the 16 potions of paralysis resistance I'm giving you right now. We negotiated a price of 1,800 septims for this delivery, half of which was paid in advance. But given our delays, no blame on you for that, it would be wiser to offer the same goodwill we want to see in return. I want you to set the price at 700 septims, and possibly even go down by 100 if she chooses to barter. Guard Tower is the highest building in Akamora. Hard to miss. From here, go down to the stairs to the Riverwalk, then go right, passing by Baron Manor. Turn right at the gazebo and walk up the hill. Guard Tower is the last building on the road. Given how much we've already tried Falas's patience, it's probably best not to keep her waiting any longer. Fortunately, the way is short. Good luck, and let me know of your success as soon as you can. So I'm going to do that immediately. This has been a long quest line. And I would like to get this stuff out of my inventory as I continually sell it or use the components for alchemy.
You may speak.
It's not fair to ask me to not do alchemy. Oh my god. I hate these places. This is crazy. And look, the door blocks the hall. Great planning.
You may speak.
And the guard blocks the hall.
Outlander. Yes?
And the hall does not end. And now it's up. Oh, good Lord. Where are you?
Yes, Outlander. Outlander. What do you want?
You may speak. Do I know you? Outlander.
Oh, you're standing right there watching me, aren't you? It's a skill tome! Ah. Jerk. Oh, this is insane.
Yes, Outlander?
I don't suppose you're here because of the spider Daedra sightings, are you? I've been trying to find someone who'd be willing to go to the Mephallan Vales and dispatch the spider Daedra. We've been receiving a lot of reports lately of people venturing into the mountains and ending up missing. Something has to be done, or this whole situation could get a lot worse. I don't suppose you'd be interested in making a decent amount of gold, would you? I'll see what I can do. What a relief to hear that. I'll just get right down to it then. The spider Daedra sightings have all taken place in the mountains just to the southeast of here, in the direction of Tomaril Manor. I'm guessing there must be a matriarch somewhere in these mountains, which would explain why they've been more out in the open. If you kill the matriarch, that should cause the rest of the spider Daedra to scatter. If you're handy with a bow, I'd recommend shooting them from a safe distance with the best arrows you can scrape up. Either that, or cast projectile spells if you're any good with magic. If you are skilled enough, you can even defeat them in melee, but be aware that they're blinding and burdening magic. Oh dear. Ultimately, how you go about it is your business, but I personally wouldn't go near the nest if I didn't have to. You can stock up on supplies at the Fighters Guild here in Akamora if necessary. Paralysis resistance. Oh, as for their whereabouts, they've been seen somewhere not far from the road to Tomaril Manor. Don't hesitate to ask the guards at the manor. They may have newer reports. And watch out for yourself once again. These creatures may look like spiders, but they are among the most dangerous Daedra seen in the land. Ask her about paralysis resistance potions. Okay, so I'm going to say 1,800 gold, of which you paid 900, and 200 are deducted for a delay. That leaves 700. Now this is a bargain more than worth the wait, so my trust for the guild against all advice was founded. Tell Renosa she has my thanks, and this contract was not the last. And here are my thanks to you for volunteering to hunt down the spider Daedra, menacing the roads along Akamora. One of the potions you bought is yours. Okay, let's see. She said further trade. Alright, so I should probably continue back to the Mages Guild to see if they're happy about that. Yeah, speak to Renosa.
Do I bump the sweet roll or hand it over? Come back.
Share your thoughts, friend. I enjoy the
Dunno.
company.
My potions are fresh and potent. What do you need?
You down? Up.
Our sugar is yours.
Warm greetings, Outlander. Care to peruse my spells?
Congratulations, you are now the wizard.
Master Wizard. How did the delivery of the paralysis resistance potions work out? Wonderful! You made the best of the situation. The lilies are growing well. Take a tour through the guild quarters if you haven't seen yet. And we've gained a powerful ally and a beneficial contract. More importantly, we have gained back the time to work on our research again. I assume you're looking for further duties now that this is handled? Have you obtained the vampire's answers to my questions on vampirism? Not yet. Okay. Good. The Palladia Legacy. The old noblewoman, Adelia Palladia, in the Sunset Hotel in Carrick, wishes to reassert the strength of her bloodline by obtaining a family relic from one of the barrows in Stirk Isle. I agreed to help her. She informed me that a member of the Imperial Archaeological Society is staying at the old Seawater Inn in town. They might be able to help me find the right barrow. That is a jaunty
ma'am.
hat, my dear.
Yes.
Yes, Dunmer.
Always glad to see a new face in our little island. Can I interest you in some of the latest rumors? There's an old red guard who lives in town, goes by the name of Cassandra. Rumor has it that she's in deep with the Thieves' Guild.
Why am I always surrounded by fawning admirers?
Lady Ancestral Relic. You're here on behalf of Lydia Palladia. I think I can help you. But the Colo-Nordic nobility delights in ancient weapons. Their true obsession is with blood. The blood of true, saintly nobility is thought to be a special substance, capable of healing wounds or killing traitors. In the Colovian myths, at least, at one point it was customary to draw vials of blood from the bodies of dead saints and heroes of great renown. Finding such a relic is not easy these days, but it would serve your purpose. Gladia, like most other Colo-Nords, once buried their dead in Nordic-style barrows. There are two of these on the island. The Chetrike barrows to the north of town and the Vel Ansvik barrow on the unsettled west side of the island. Here, take this book on the Colovian burial translations. Perhaps it will prove useful. So the book is Tombs of the West.
Funerary Rites of Cyrodiil, Tombs of the West, by Machile Corridale, by order of the Imperial Seminary. Colovians know two common methods of interment, common burial in the earth, and burial in stone tombs after the Nordic fashion. Both are of special interest to the student of obsequies, as both are intimately bound to the history of Colovia, its people, and their peculiar social stratification. Inhumation in a common grave in the earth may seem like a mundane affair to the layman, given that it is practiced by almost any civilized culture in Tamriel for the obvious reasons of practicality and inherent allegorical quality. For those who have an interest in the latter, I recommend Brago Antiphoros's Axiom Catacombs, Inquiry into the Nature of the Law Bones. Still, this practice did not come natural to the Syro-Nedic cultures, for whom water burial or consumption by moths were the preferred means or internment. The oldest religious codices of the Eight reflect Nedic prejudices in that they discourage earth burial. While these notions were likely carried over by the diaspora of tribeless Needs who made up the bulk of the lower-class Colovian population, the growing schism between Nibene and Colovia prevented this dogma from fully taking hold in the West, as did the absence of a suitable riverways or moth populations. After the forced cultural separation from the theocratic East, Colovians were free to devise their own rites. In this they were largely inspired by their Nordic ruling caste, who favored stone tombs and embalming as did their brothers in the high north. Nordic tomb building held a peculiar fascination to the early Nibbenese, which somewhat belies the supposed cultural dominance of the Alessian order. Of course, the Nibben-Colovian split has been greatly exaggerated by past scholars, and there is reason to believe that early imperial society in the Nibbenai was much more Nord-influenced than has until now been assumed. Especially the offices of high nobility, for which native Needs knew no equivalent, were in large part inspired by Nordic examples, which included tomb building. The greatest precedent, of course, was Alessia herself, who was entombed in the earth to signify her becoming one with the land, assuming its aspect as the Mother Sirid. We will leave the controversy of her exact burial site for another day. This set a precedent for Nedic nobility to build tombs and crypts, and this is the reason why most emperors have let themselves be buried, some exceptions notwithstanding. As a result of Alessia's example, the building of crypts and burial in cemeteries has become the most common method of burial across Cyrodiil and, some would say, the Empire as a whole. The Nivernese, ever cosmopolitan in their outlook, devised ways around their own doctrines, the fashion for boat-shaped coffins, or the tradition in affluent families to sail their dead around the imperial city before entombing them, doubling as one last pilgrimage. Even their scriptures show some leniency in this matter, for it is written that those who bury their bones in the earth are held for but an hour's breadth, for in all things Mara's grasp will slip, and they too will follow the waters. Indeed, some of the more notorious Remanite codices claim that exactly this happened to Alessia's spirit following the ascendancy of Reman I. Such is the flexibility of Neban myth.
Okay, I'm not sure that made anything any clearer. In fact, well, I am sure. No, that did not make it clearer. Okay, thank goodness for quest markers. I am going to deliver the basket before I sell it to someone. Right here.
This is unexpected, but not unwelcome.
Welcome basket.
Please
A
go
gift
ahead.
from me from Ardavan. How lovely. Please pass on my warmest thanks to him. I'll be sure to tell my colleagues back in Alinor just how welcome you've made me feel here in Cyrodiil. And that is a jaunty tune. Okay, how's it going?
Greetings to you.
I think we're getting somewhere. The sea drake egg is moving. That egg you found is definitely alive. I cast a couple of spells to help it along, and I've been keeping the chemical balance of this bowl perfectly consistent. I think it will hatch very soon, maybe within a day or two. Okay, well, good.
I'd be happy to talk. My pleasure, really.
Have you delivered the welcome basket? Yes, and she was delighted with it. She was. Excellent work. Here, take a scroll for a job well done. I hear Alessander has been having some trouble with a local town recently, specifically regarding his unwanted advances. Oh, with a local in town. Not sure of the details. Speak to Lysandra directly to see what you can do.
Greetings to you, Dunmer.
Well met. I've saved my best potions just for you.
Specifically from Ugenring, that Bosmer who lives down by the docks. Initially, I might have found his efforts almost endearing. Almost. But his increasingly persistent attempts to woo me have become an unwelcome nuisance. I came to Carrick to further my studies, not to entertain romantic pursuits. I'd like you to find out what he's planning next and see if you can put an end to it. Okay. Headed northwest. Here we go, a-barrowing among the leaves so green. Love and joy come to you, and to you an arrow too. Green leaves, check. Barrow, check. Arrows, check. Good. Sunset.
I'll never get this staying out.
Wow, look at that. Beautiful. I hope they don't mind that I'm just gonna hang out on the roof for a little bit. I'm not messing with the tile. I'm levitating. Pretty.
I'd be happy to talk. My pleasure, really.
Have you received an heirloom from the Barrows? Yes, I found an ancestral dagger and vial. A weapon of old in the blood of our founder saints. Thank you. With these memories, the Palladian bloodline can be redeemed. Stirk will remain under the moral authority of the true Colo-Nordic blood. Scions of Colodia. Scions of Colodia. Shore and the divines bless you. Not sure that's what I wanted, but okay. More sunset. And in fact, I think we're going to go swim in the ocean. It's inviting and lovely, and it's bath time. try to avoid the crab. She doesn't want to kill anything. Go to the beach and just come on over here and see if she can avoid getting attacked by a slaughterfish or a weirdly waterborne dryad or... yeah. Soap. Let's just worry about soap right now. And not the kind that explodes. Ah! Back to shore. One last look at the sun. Ah, that's lovely. Who knows what that is that far out? What are we looking at? Oh, we can see the bracelet all the way over there. All right. Satisfying to see alchemy up to 86.
Funerary Rites of Cyrodiil, Death by Water, by machinations, by order of the Imperial Seminary. Along the shores of the Neben River and its tributaries, one occasionally comes across unusual stone edifices, catacombs dedicated to Arche featuring docks, canal access, or tiered step wells, all adorned with the silks and bright pigments so favored by the Nebenese. These are considered some of the oldest remaining funerary edifices of the Nibene, key to their ancient custom of water, or river burial. The presumed original version of this ritual, as practiced by the early Nedic tribes, took place after the deceased was subjected to embalmment by moths. The shrouded body would then be placed in a small Hakos skiff, accompanied by grave goods and personal belongings, and be cast off down the Neben River, or whatever tributary of that mighty stream the departed lived near. By chance and river fortune, the skiff was then taught find its way to Topal Bay and the open ocean, in an echo of the soul's long voyage towards the divine. Of course, modern versions of the practice are less haphazard, which is where both the Nibenese catacombs and the Order of the Psychopompoi come in. The Psychopomps, a charismatic subcult of Arche, specialize in transporting the dead across the water. Affluent families hire a skiff-man to pilot their dead anywhere they might need to go, between the aisles of the imperial city, on a last pilgrimage circuit, or to visit temples and shrines favored by the deceased. Most often, they sail the skiffs towards the ancient Niben catacombs, whose curious architecture is built specifically to allow a skiff to enter the building, either by a direct canal gate, or, where geography does not allow this, through cranes and pulley systems. Being a skiffman of the Psychopomps is a prestigious but precarious position. If he were to accidentally sink the skiff, condemning the deceased to a life as a wreck haunt, the skiffman would be deemed untouchable, an outcast of Nibenese society. The catacombs have a curious reputation among the Nibenese. Some traditionalists consider them a perversion of the original rite, which allowed the Neben River itself to separate the virtuous from the wicked. While most catacombs are maintained by the great faith of Arche, or subcults of that deity, persistent rumors paint them as the homes of moth-eaters, vampires, deviant cults, and wreck haunts, the ghosts of miscreants marooned on the path of the spheres. Furthermore, the soft soil of the Neben Basin is ill-suited to these deep constructions, and many catacombs are known to flood periodically. As can be surmised, river burial is closely interrelated to moth burial, and both rituals are often combined in some way. Usually, the body of the deceased rests a while in the withering crypts of a nearby silk school, where the carnivorous ancestor moths shroud the corpse in a cocoon of raw silk. If a silk school is unavailable, the body is sometimes brought to the catacombs in its original state. Most such places are choked with moths anyway, and they will make quick work of any fresh or only partially devoured cadavers. Water burial was a popular method of interment when the Nibonese communities were few and far apart, but in an age where the Nibon River is one of the busiest trade arteries in Tamriel, it has become an inconvenience. The Elder Council has instated a harsh tax on the practice, in essence restricting it to the more affluent castes. Others have turned to internment in tombs and graves combined with the practice of pure moth burial, still the most prestigious method of internment in the East.
Okay, this is the decoded package that Caius explained to us. So I don't need to reread it. It's what Caius told us about the Empire believing us to be a candidate for the Nerevarine prophecies.
Dress cremation practices, how the dress handle their dead. Publisher's note. The following missive is printed by authority of the Halalu Council Company and with the permission of its original author in the interests of promoting understanding and respect between the visitors to Morrowind and her local people. Brother Cantus, I know of your interest in investigating the more obscure burial practices of the Dark Elves, and for your sake I have made sure to make inquiries during my trip to Morrowind and spare you the trouble. As it happens, a Dark Elf boatman was feeling quite talkative, and I have transcribed his comments below. However, most Dark Elves are not so accommodating. They do not like outsiders coming in and asking questions about their dead. Much less do they like people who worship foreign gods telling them what to do with their dead. The dress do not sell their corpses to the Slode, whatever wild gossip you might have overheard. I am shocked you would think of making such inquiries of the dress. Apologies would not cut it. The dress, like other dark elves, are very thorough in caring for their dead, and will certainly not let them fall into the hands of necromancers. They are also not in the habit of animating their dead, from what I understand, which is more than can be said of their brethren. And I know you will have misgivings about some of their practices, and I would like to see them change their ways as well. But they will not do so, and at least they are thorough about it. I cannot understand your desire to proselytize off in the East, where nobody will listen to you, when nobody back at home seems capable of burying a corpse in such a way that it stays buried and not in the lair of some foul necromancer. If there is one thing I find commendable about the Dark Elves, it's that they tend to look to their own before bothering their neighbors, though the Empire is trying its best to change that. Can't we learn from them for once and leave them well enough alone, at least until we have our end sorted? I understand wanting a change of pace, but I assure you Morrowind is not the change of pace you want. So, you seen the dreugh beacons shining over the plains? No, they are not lighthouses. The dreugh don't need big lights to navigate by. Well, I suppose you outlanders could use them as such, but the dreugh won't have lit them for that, I can tell you. No, those are the dreugh. The recently deceased, that is, on their journey to Necrom. No, the dreugh don't use Veloth's way. They don't like to leave their territory if they don't have to. Well, yes, they do send hunters into the south, but that's business and not pleasure. Too much trouble anyway. Why walk when you can ride, the caravanners will ask you. The dreugh are clever. They notice there's a strong wind that goes up from Lake Andoram and then rushes down the other side, Necrom way. That wind carries their dead. Of course the flesh and blood is too heavy to be carried by the wind, and the bones, especially the bones. The tribunal, blessed be their holy names, need the bones to power the ghost fence. They can't do with just the flesh ashes, which we burn up here. We can send the bones after, sure, but the dreugh aren't going to, so the dreugh need to burn the bones as well. Get the fire nice and hot. Hence the beacons. How do they do it? Well, I can tell you, in fact, but it's not quickly told. The dreugh stand on ceremony if their dead are on the line, and ceremony takes time. First, they dry out the body. Not very hard to do over there, just find a salt patch and lay it in. You'll see them sometimes, if you ever have the misfortune to cross the plains. A few clan guards standing vigil over a dry brown form. That'll be the body. Yes, they stand vigil. In shifts, of course, as the body takes a long time to dry out properly. These are not your dead slaves left to parch in the salt and sun and be nibbled away at by whatever thrice-cursed salt-munching beasts live up there, especially in these days with you outlanders sniffing about where you're not meant to, begging your pardon. If you do see them, I'd suggest you keep your distance and not stare too much. We don't hold by corpse gawkers around here, but we understand you foreigners like to gawk, so we just gawk back until you back off. The dreugh are not so understanding. Your folk don't abide by corpse gawking either. Huh. Well, the dreugh don't know that, and they won't ask. Now, they don't just lay the corpse flat. It's not dignified enough for them, and besides, it would be a pain to balance them on their pillars that way, begging your pardon. They have them sit lotus position, as you'll see Lord Vivek sit in frescoes. They're dead, of course, so they're not about to sit by themselves. But if you've spent a bit of time in Morrowind, you'll know that's no object. The bonesmiths know all about reinforcing joints, as you'll know, and they have a much easier time getting something not to move than they do getting something to be able to move. They drive long, sharp bones and bits of metal and chitin tubes between the bones in such a way that the body doesn't shift about. Looks like what? Onsi? One of your foreign gods? Don't mention that to the dreugh, they won't like it. They don't use metal much. No, they don't have a lot of it to go around. They always make sure to use at least one piece, though. It's the only bit that doesn't burn up completely, and it's not needed for the ghost fence, so it's the only bit they can really keep. The chitin just comes from the legs of some bug, I'm not sure which. It's pretty sturdy stuff, though, used for scaffolding and the like. Much lighter than the wood from the jungles, and more convenient to get at. Where do they get the bones from? Ah, the bone steaks, you mean. Those are the bones of their enemies. I told you the dreugh stand on ceremony. Though, to be fair, enemies means some wretched slaves more often than not. Bones of traitors? Where'd you hear that from? You read it in some book? Hanin's what? Never heard of it, but sounds about right. The dreugh don't hold by traitors either, but don't get a lot of them. No wonder. You can be sure if some do pop up, they'll be the first to burn. They sometimes use the bones of some other clan's chapthil if they're having a very bad feud, or the body is of a very important clansman. But I hear even the dreugh leadership frowns on that, let alone the temple. No, if they want to go out of their way nowadays, it usually involves a trip to the south to get a lizard that at least puts up a bit of a fight. Times have changed, even for the dreugh. Once the body is dry, they carry it back. It's a good deal lighter then, even with all the bits of bone and metal and chitin sticking out. But the dreugh carry it very carefully, to be sure, on its bug husk platform. I don't know how they get it up on the pillar, in fact. They must use those flying things they have. I don't like those. Though here's a bit of knowledge for the road, and you'd better hope you won't need it. Those bugs don't like fire much, or so I hear. No wonder as well, as their tallow burns like nothing else I've seen. Or you've seen, for that matter, as you've seen the beacons burn yourself. Once the body is back at the clanstead, it's coated with the stuff, and draped over with clan textiles coated in the stuff. And the chitin shell the body is sitting in is filled with the stuff as well. They want to be sure it all burns up, you see, or they'd have to burn it again later, which isn't really proper. And then, when it's sitting up there all right and ready, they light the lot. Not sure how they do that either, as I doubt the bugs would play along. And I know I wouldn't want to be anywhere near it when it lights up, or I'd be halfway to Necrom before sundown. And that's the light you see. I wasn't kidding either. The fire does its work quickly, or something's gone awful wrong. Now I've told you and saved you the trouble of asking the dreugh. They don't like questions, especially about their dead. It's a good thing you asked me as well. I know caravanners who go up into the salt plains. Gods know why, as they don't like it there, and the dreugh don't like them there, but they're proper halalu, so they know to follow the money, and it's not my place to question them. And they tell me a few tales of what they see. And I don't know about you, but for me, hearing is enough. But you seem sensible for an outlander. Curious, sure, but I suppose we all are. Where was it you were headed? Narcissus? Straight away out of the province, not bad. Maybe the dreugh would like you after all. An essay on modern arcane transportation methods by Hocker. With the advent of the modern Salaudine method, the cumbersome and expensive teleportation systems of our ancestors became obsolete. Since then, these spells have been rationalized to the point that even a novice can apply them with some degree of success. What's more, the work of sages such as Suma Prenja resulted in a framework for the creation of enchanted objects which can transport their wearer to a specific location without fail. With all these advancements, many laymen now question why teleportation is not more widespread in our lives. Why do we need ships and caravans? Why must armies march and lay siege to fortresses? Why even bother building vaults and walls if one can bypass them by magic? To answer these questions, we must investigate three key issues which inhibit the application of teleportation, location, distance, and specialization. 1. Location. Location is fairly straightforward. If one is to transport oneself or others by magic, one must first know one's destination. To this end, a spiritual anchor must be established in the location one wishes to go. In simple terms, one can only go where one has been before. This restriction explains why teleportation to distant locales is not more commonplace, as few mages have the means, or inclination, to travel far and wide for such a purpose. Additionally, the ability to maintain multiple marked locations is extremely rare outside the specialized training of the guild guides, the very best of whom can only maintain spiritual anchors in a handful of distinct locations. Even then, connections may waver, a guide can become confused, or, rarely, an anchor can snap without warning, a phenomenon still ill understood. Methods of teleportation that do not require pre-knowledge of the destination do exist, but they are without exception extremely dangerous. The Barilzeritic method was reportedly capable of bypassing these and any other restrictions, but the secret of this method has been lost centuries ago, and further investigation has been forbidden. There are other obstructions too. Many places in this world, by natural or artificial means, are capable of inhibiting teleportation. Extreme energies generated by the presence of powerful magical fields can overwhelm the signature of the spiritual anchor, leaving its counterspell protocol without the required thaumatic handshake. Other, more subtle means rely on the interference of invisible vibrations. Machines producing such frequencies are used in most imperial prisons, and as teleportation becomes more commonplace, we can expect such machines to become a mainstay in any number of settings. 2. Distance. The issue of distance and the expenditure of magic is not difficult to explain. When transporting someone, the magicka and level of concentration required rise sharply beyond a certain threshold in the Luciferius curve. This means that, while teleportation in a range of several miles is fairly simple, the same spell across large distances requires exponentially more magicka. To teleport from Daggerfall to Wayrest is somewhat draining for a standard practitioner, but to teleport from High Rock to Yakuda would require more magicka than 1,000 mages in concert could harness.
She had a relatively good day of Mages Guild quests, and it's a nice break from dead young women and young men. She's grateful for it.